Hello, Algebra 2 students. For Mr. Fry, you have a test today, and I'm going to give you your accommodations for reading, and please pause this as I'm going to go through it rather quickly, but I'm going to give some clarifications also for this test. So we have the chapter test, part 1 test. Answer the following questions in complete sentences if necessary. So number 1, describe the difference between an independent variable and a dependent variable. In a function, which variable is always the independent and which is the dependent? So some ideas for this one. Remember, independent is the input, or that x, and the dependent is the output. After you put this number in, what does it all equal? What's the output and that y? So if you can explain that in your own words, that would be great for number 1. For number 2, list the general formula for direct variation. State which variable is the constant of variation. Okay, remember it's y equals something x. It's is a letter that goes here, and that letter is the constant of variation also, okay? It makes the same sound as the C in constant. So that's the way I remember it. So number 3, list the 4 different types of slopes a graph can have. And if you could describe these, that would be great. And here are the 4 different types of slopes right here. So if you could describe those, that would be great for number 3. Number 4, explain what they are. For number 4, state the formulas for the following forms involving slope. So we have slope-intercept form, and you have point slope form and standard form. I'm giving you all 4 of them right here, but you have to match them with the right one. So one of them is y equals mx plus b. One of them is y minus y1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x1 n quantity. Or one of them is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Just put them with the correct one. And the other one is a times x plus b times y equals c. So that's a b and that's a y there. So for number 5, going back to 4 real quick, just take these and match them with A, B, C, or D, and write them down where you think they go. Give you choices for that one. Number 5, what is the relationship between the slopes of parallel lines and what is the relationship between the slopes of perpendicular lines? Okay, so in other words, these are parallel lines. What's the relationship of the slopes? And this is perpendicular. This is what perpendicular means, okay? What is the relationship of the slopes, though, on perpendicular lines? For number 6, it says, for the following table, evaluate the given x values. So here are our x values here. Our inputs are independent variables. These are dependent variables, going to be over here. So this is, your y equals this when x equals that. That's what f of x is, remember? So I helped you with that independent and dependent. Determine if the relationship is a function. So, you don't have any repeaters here, so it is going to be a function. The money made, though, you're going to figure out what each one of these equals when x is 10, 30, 50, and 70. So in other words, you're going to solve it 4 times like this. First time, second time, third time, 4th time, and you're going to find your answers for the money made. Find out what those equal for the money made. And lastly, number 7. Last page, I should say, number 7. The number of rotations of a bicycle wheel varies directly with the number of pedal strokes. Suppose that after 6 pedal strokes, the cyclist moves about 357 inches. How many pedal strokes would it take to move 100 feet? Remember that there are 12 inches in a foot, and you get 2 points. So remember the variation formula, and you could use this to go back to answer another question, but y equals the constant of variation times x, right? So in order to find out what the constant of variation is, you're going to take y divided by x. So my y in this one my dependent variable is 357 divided by the independent, which is 6, the input. Your input, you're putting in 6 pedal strokes, and you get, 357 inches, right? Well, I figured it out for you, and I was like, oh, no, I don't want to give the answer. So that is your constant of variation. So then your constant of variation is going to go here. So you just have to divide 1,200, because that's 12 inches is 100 feet. So 1,200 divided by that constant of variation will give you your x value. How many pedal strokes? Okay. For number 8, 8, 9, 10, and 11, you're to use certain formulas in order to solve these problems here, to figure out what and to get it in slope-intercept form, actually, to get it out in slope-intercept form. So for number 8, the formula that you're going to use is this. You're going to take your slope and put it here, and you're going to take that y value that they're giving you, -2. You're going to subtract -2 or add 2. And then you're going to have your 0 here, so it could be -0. And then work it all out and see what you get, and it'll be in slope-intercept form. For number 9, you're going to do this also. You have the slope of 3/5. Your y is 2, so you're going to -2. Your x is -5, so you're subtracting a -5 or adding 5 here. Go ahead and figure it out, and you'll end up in y equals mx plus b, the slope-intercept form. This one, for number 10, you have 9x plus 3y equals 30. You're just going to get y by itself, okay? In other words, okay, I did the first step for you. You're going to get rid of the 9x on both sides, okay? And then how are you going to get rid of this 3 everywhere? Divide everything by 3, and you're going to get y equals something x plus something here when you divide everything by 3. And that would be your answer. That's in slope-intercept form. And then this one, a line that passes through 2 points. So you're given these 2 points. Figure out what the slope is. Once you figure out what the slope is, put the slope here, and then pick any one of those points. You'll get the same answer, and that will be your x and your y. So you could pick the 3 and the 2. So you put 2 here, you put 3 here, and then figure it out, and that would be in slope-intercept form. So hopefully this helps, and good luck with this test.